Hi, good day. How's everyone doing? All right, you guys okay?
Yep.
I'd like to welcome everyone to Beginner's Obedience with Agility and Socialization. And today is graduation day. So we're going to be running through the 6-step routine called the Dog Star routine. And we're going to graduate one of our graduates, Maverick. So stay tuned, and I look forward to you joining us for class today. I'm Devlin Stubbs, by the way, and you can introduce yourselves. I'm Devlin, the lead trainer at Stubbsdale Dog Care Center
Zena, sit.
and coordinator at Pat's Nature Garden. You are?
I'm Aaliyah. I'm his daughter.
I'm Bridget Hogg, also a trainer.
So I'd like to introduce Shadow.
Zena.
Hey, Shadow. Zena.
Yo, this is Zena.
And Frappe.
Good job.
Full of life. Relax. All right, so let's get to the formal recall, which is our next exercise in our Dog Star training routine. And our dogs are casual. Everyone's dog is casual. Hopefully the leash is relatively loose. If it's not, Aaliyah, switch hands. Allow her to walk around you so it don't get tangled. See how that works? Good. Now everyone's going to tell their dogs, use the special command, come. Right? Notice when we were doing the casual come, we were not using that word, right? We were saying, everybody say it together, 1, 2, 3. No, we were saying, let's go. All right, on the casual come, we were saying what? Let's go. Right? But now we're doing the formal recall, which is more rigid. Who can guess what the difference is when I use the formal come to my dog? Who can guess what I expect of my dog at that time that's different than the casual come? Who remembers? Yes, I require a sit at the end. And where do we want our dog to sit? Zena, come. Right in front facing us. Right? So that's a rigid come. Zena, come. That's a formal recall. That's a more controlled come for formal time training. Because why? I need my dog to stay close to me for whatever reason. It's a competition, there's a car coming by, a baby in a stroller, but the casual come ain't gonna work right now. So I need a formal recall, right? So everyone, let your dogs out at the end of the leash and say come. Call your dog, say come. For example, Zena, come. Walk backward, gather your leash and encourage them to sit in front of you, facing you. Say come, walk backwards. Gather your leash if you need to. Pull up, push down, use your treat. Help them sit. Good job. Good job. That's it right there. All right, and everyone just practice that a few more times. Just watch out that no one's right behind you. And just call your dog and say, come. By the way, you're saying come once. And let me show you how that gather your leash thing works. I'm saying gather your leash, but I didn't really show you just now. Good. So, Ms. Hawk, that's a strong no and a pop. All right? But when your dog lunges. But of course, when I'm gathering the leash, Aaliyah, you watching? Zena, come. Gather in my leash. And then encouraging my dog to sit at the end. All right? Finish. Good job. All right? So practice it amongst yourselves. Space out. Call your dog a couple more times and make him sit. Zena, come. Sit. Yes. Finish. Afterwards, say finish and do it again. Zena, come. Sit. Yes, good job. Gather your leash if your dog ignores you, that's a reason to gather your leash. And walking backwards gives you the space you need to orient them properly, right? Because if you don't walk backwards, they may run straight past you. Just watch what I'm saying, guys. If I don't walk backwards, if I just stay come, I may not have the space to gather my leash in the time I need to, and my dog's going to be, Aaliyah, that's happening to you. And my dog will be walking past me. But if I walk backwards as I gather, I can guide my dog to the front, and I have enough time and space to accomplish that. So gather your leash and move backward. And you can teach your dog to move faster. That's another reason why you're moving backwards. Watch here. Zena, come. I want my dog to come in briskly. So I'm moving backwards to achieve speed as well as precision or targeting and direction. All right, try it again, guys. Zena, come. Sit. Finish. Good job. That was beautiful, bro. Good job. That was it. Okay, good job. All right. Good job. All right, so let's move right along. So that's the formal recall, which again is one of our routines in the Dog Star training program. We got 2 more routines in this entire program. That would be the sit, stand, down exercise, right? And the sit, stay, and the down, stay. All right, so let's move it. Let's get into stay. All right, so we're gonna sit our dogs on our left side in the agreement. We're gonna work on getting a little bit of focus, which is watch me. Right? By the way, if you have the treat in your hand and it's not right down to your dog's mouth and you're able to raise it up and still get the focus, that's called fading the lure. And that's what we want to work towards. Get in focus, even though the treat's not right in our dog's mouth. And that's what the practicing's all about. I got a pop quiz for everyone. Who can list off the 4 different training environments? Think about it after the break. You could even confer. Right? What do they call it in the game shows? You could call a family member, call a friend. All right, so let's get back to the sit stay and the down stay. Everyone's dog is on the left. We're going to shorten the leash and hold it above our dog's head. Sometimes you guys don't have to do that at home if you don't want to, but this here to me, for my program, this puts me a little bit ahead of my dog moving so the training goes faster while I use a positive reward. All right, this prevents the behavior I don't want to see, which is my dog running off. All right. Good job. So Aaliyah, a little bit of pressure, leash pressure to the top is going to save you from having your dog running off every second. All right? Just quick as you could. Don't feel bashful. Just move fast. Your dog's moving faster than you, so that sometimes is a factor. All right, take your right hand. Put the treat in your right hand, by the way. Catch. Good catch. Whoa! All right. Put your treat in your right hand. Wave your hand across your dog's face once and say, so-and-so, stay. Zena, stay. Wave your hand across her face. Good job. Now put that treat up here by your chest area as if you get it later. You just got to stay face. Now step out in front and face. If they get up, just sit them quickly. Pull up and push down. By the way, Malia, Zena really likes Pancho. Shadow really likes Pancho, so that's what's happening. All right? So step out in front. But look here. Your leash pressure really can help you right now because your dog's going to keep getting up. All right, and if your dog gets up, lean over, push down. Do not repeat stay. All right, do not repeat stay. But you're going to continue your exercise for whatever time period you initially decided. We didn't discuss that, but I was aiming for 30 seconds. All right, so let's say you're home practicing. You aim for about 30 seconds. In that time, you're not repeating sit. You're not repeating stay. And if your dog gets up, you're going to fix them back in the position they were. I'm talking about down to the millimeter. All right? After that 30 seconds is up, and by the way, they all look great. Go back to your dog. Say finish. And give them that reward and say good boy, good girl. Even for the ones that move, they still completed the exercise. And so that was still successful. Let's try it again. And remember, failure is not your dog moving. Failure is you not knowing what to do when your dog moves. And even that ain't failure because you could still learn. All right? So apply some pressure above your dog's head just to encourage him to stay put. Say sit. Wave your hand across your dog's face. Say stay. If anybody's dog is advanced and they want to walk to the end of the leash or drop the leash, that's fine. 30 seconds. Face your dog. Lean over. Push, pull up, push down. Lean over, Leah. Push down on the bottom. Yeah, pull up and push down. And keep your dog in the spot. The trainer has more work to do at this point than the dog. Honestly. Who wants to try a walk around your dog, hey? So, Margaret, you're going to put the treat in your left hand. And if you look, take a quick peek back at me. Notice how I got my dog looking straight up? So I can actually walk around my dog because my dog is focused so much on the treat. All right, now you may have to, yes, you may have to use like a little rubbing on your dog's chin to get that. Good job. Excellent. Next time, just step so you have more space behind you next time, but you could really do it. That was all that was. All right, good job. And once you get back, say finish and give your dog that reward and rub him up. Why is finish important, everybody? You want to have an exit strategy, right? If you just tell your dog sit and stay and don't tell them when it's over, they're going to start getting up on their own. And then they're going to think, well, I decide when it's over, right? When I got bored, right? And most people have that problem just automatically because they're in the kitchen, they're washing dishes, they call their dogs over, they say, hey buddy, sit. They get him a treat, and then they go back to washing dishes, the dog gets up. So stay becomes a difficult task for your dog because of that reason. All right? Hey, what's up? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.